So I just turned off the radio because it's playing crappy music, and I'm going to drive to college. But today, I thought I might as well talk about something else, such as what I think of console fanboyism and the whole bullshit console war. Here's the thing, it's an absolute joke. It really is. I mean, I can go online, I can go on message boards right now, and I'll see people who literally will pick a console over the other, and despite them trying to deny it, they'll literally get into extreme flame wars when the joke is the Xbox One and the PS4. Yeah, the Xbox One and the PS4, they're extremely close together. They just are. I mean, really, there isn't much of a difference, if any. There barely is a difference between both the consoles because, long story short, they've got the same games. The only difference is, like, the Xbox One has a few more games, and the PS4 kind of has worse online. I played a bunch of the PSN for the PS3, and it was terrible. I mean, I wouldn't spend money for that kind of online. I really wouldn't, but that's out of the way. And let me just say, let's talk about the whole thing. The whole debate is stupid. And then you've got the Wii U, which is like an absolute joke. It's got underpowered hardware. It's got frame rate issues in nearly all the games. And keep in mind, frame rate does affect gameplay. If you think it doesn't, you might want to play something like Quake 3 Arena, Unreal Tournament, Call of Duty, something like that. You might want to play one of those games because those games can be real frame rate dependent. I mean, because their whole thing is 60 FPS fast-paced gameplay. And yet you've got stuff like, let's just say, with that and stuff, you've got, like, people trying to defend frame rate drops, people trying to point the finger at others when you tell them that the console they worship has flaws and is majorly flawed and just isn't that great. And whenever you mention a problem that screws over the consumer, they'll try to sweep it under the rug, pretend it doesn't exist. And that just pisses me off. Especially when you had the whole Gamergate shit happening. I mean, where the gaming media was harassing gamers. And then you've got these fanboys who act just like those people, and they want to harass anybody who does not play the same console they do. I mean, I noticed this a lot with, like, Nintendo. I noticed this a lot with Sony. I noticed this some with Microsoft. I haven't really seen those kind of people with Microsoft a lot, mostly online, because apparently Microsoft is the absolute worst company ever, despite the fact I can name many, many, many companies worse than them. I mean, this whole war is pretty stupid. And then you've got the PC, where you've got PC elitists who will, like, believe because they bought, like, some cheapo gaming PC or an Acer laptop that they're pro gamers. I mean, I've seen a lot of these people who just make it all bad for everybody else, and these people will get so emotionally invested in a piece of plastic to the point where they will literally have to do stuff such as, have you ever seen, for example, like, let's just say, people actually making videos, like, dedicated to this whole thing, or you'll see stuff like, let's just say, sorry, it's hard to focus when you're driving. They'll talk about how people obsess over only them and only frame rate issues with them when their system can't even run a last-gen game. Or you'll see people who will get so emotionally invested in a piece of plastic they'll actually unfriend people. They'll stop being somebody's friend, all because of their loyalty to a brand. And my whole life isn't about gaming. As you can see, I'm driving to my night classes for college. And yet you've got these people who act like the only thing that ever matters is video gaming. Because here's the thing, I can do other things in my life than just play video games. I really can. And yet you've got these people who don't seem to understand that there's more to life than just playing video games. They'll actually, the only things they'll talk about are just the console war. They'll get so emotionally invested in it that, like I said, they'll not just remove people, but then they'll do other stuff to these people. Like let's just say they'll actually go on their Twitter if somebody even mentions something related to them, or even not related to them, all over a damn piece of plastic. It's bullshit. I mean, it's fucking bullshit that these people have to get heavily emotional over a piece of plastic. I mean, this is supposed to be gaming. This isn't supposed to be choosing a brand and, let's just say, buying games only because they're on your brand of system that you enjoy. I mean, let's be honest here. I own a lot of systems. I own an Xbox One. I've got a ton of computers. I mean, I've got like a few Macs, a few PCs, some Unix boxes, and a few more. I mean, I've even got like an old HP tablet in my book bag because like my Asus laptop, I regret buying that thing. I'm gonna have to like spend a lot of time someday when I'm not all overwhelmed by stuff to actually get that thing working, but that's the thing. I actually own a lot of PCs. I mean, I've got an Xbox One, I've got a 360, I've got a PS3, I've got a Wii U. Wii U's probably like the one system I'd regret buying. I mean, because, God, the Wii U, I should never have bought that thing because it's got like, it's just a train wreck. Unless you have a very narrow taste in games, you have to admit, it's messed up. It really is. It's like, it doesn't have that many games, third parties are dumping it, it's underpowered, and they have the balls to call it a next-gen system. It's not a next-gen system. At best, it's like slightly more powerful than the 360. At worst, it's weaker than the 360. And this is kind of pathetic. I mean, honestly, whatever happened to nerds getting so, just playing the video games instead of getting so emotionally, like, involved in a piece of plastic? It's just kind of pathetic, man. It really is. And let's be honest, I just want to play my video games, okay? I want to talk about video games. I want to talk about stuff that I don't like in video games, too. But apparently you can't say you like certain games or dislike certain games, or else it's just bullshit, man. It's bullshit. And it's something I've noticed with everybody. I just wish gaming went back to being about games, and not people getting so emotionally devastated whenever some guy on YouTube or a message board or a comment box doesn't like their video game. It's just sad. It really is. But you know, I think I'm done talking for now. I think I've got the point I'm trying to make across. That maybe people should be, but like, then you've got people trying to defend every little thing just because it's on a certain console, or buy a certain game just because it's on a certain console. I mean, it's dumb. It really is dumb. Honestly, these are my thoughts on the whole issue with all these game dramas and stuff happening. I really just can't, like, understand why these people have to dedicate their whole lives to worshiping a brand name. I mean, do you see people worship Windows? Do you? You don't. Do you see people worshiping banks? You don't. So why should it be any different for video games? Like really, it shouldn't. It's the same exact thing. Anyways, that's all I have to say. As I continue to drive to my college, these are my thoughts on the whole issues with all the gamers and stuff. That's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more.